Carolina. In terms of the college football season, we're like 2 days away. We're like 2 more sleeps until Iowa State and Kansas State, the game known as Farmageddon, kicks off in Ireland.
I did hear it branded, and I'm glad they branded that game because that gives me maybe more of a reason to watch.
I lived a lie for a few years because I remember being told by a former coworker when I was working in Nashville, who is from Iowa. That's what he said they used to call Iowa, Nebraska was Farmageddon. So I thought for the longest time that the official Farmageddon game was Iowa, Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And I erroneously referred to that game as Farmageddon, but apparently it is Iowa State, Kansas State.
That feels better.
Yeah.
I mean, it all works, actually.
It all works. Yeah, I don't know if you go wrong either way. But the official Farmageddon game happening in Ireland, I think it's on noon on Saturday. So that means Saturday morning you can wake up, watch College Game Day, and you're leading up into an actual football game between 2 top 25 teams. 2 of maybe the best teams in a conference that we would all say the teams are pretty good.
We're all good.
The Big 12, we're all pretty good. Not great, but they're all, pretty good. Yesterday, we played a game, cash or pass. That's kind of an interesting way to make a pick for a national championship team or a Heisman Trophy winner, where instead of just asking you to do it, we're going to dissect thought a little bit and have some hypothetical money on the line, as if this was your money on the line. And yesterday, Clemson ended up being your cash or pass champion.
I was playing the game.
You were, which is all I ask. Okay. All I ask, yeah.
Just playing the game.
And you know what? I don't completely disagree.
Okay.
In terms of teams that are the most ready to win at a high level right now.
I'm just saying, I was just playing the game yesterday, and then all of a sudden I'm getting called Tater everywhere I go now.
Tater Thorn was the funniest one.
I was just playing the game. Just playing the game.
Which we appreciate the honesty. That is why we do these things, is to get to the core of what you truly believe in your football mind.
That's right.
So we're going to do the same thing for Heisman, the Heisman Trophy today. So I'm just going to give you a player. For those who didn't listen yesterday, I want to give Preston a player, and then I'll throw in another player. And if he thinks that player 2 has a better chance, he'd be more willing to bet on player 2 to win the Heisman as opposed to player 1 with the 1,000 hypothetical dollars that I have given Preston to bet on one player, that he will say cash. But if he still wants to stick with player 1, he just says pass. Pretty easy. So we'll start with Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer. Now, funny that I mentioned hypothetical $1,000 and gambling here. We'll keep this hypothetical transaction off of Venmo. So your player right now, John Mateer, and I will present to you Carson Beck, cash or pass.
Pass.
Okay, passing on Carson Beck. You still have Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. Pass. That was an easy one for Preston.
For this thing, again, if you haven't seen John Mateer play, he's a gunslinger.
He's fun.
He's really fun to watch. Could be possible to produce a lot of Heisman-type moments.
Yes.
Right? Things that if you've seen it on a highlight package, you'd be like, oh, that guy.
I don't want to compare him directly to Johnny Manziel because that guy did win a Heisman, did go to Alabama and beat them, and is responsible for some of the best teams in the history of Texas A&M. Yes, archetype.
Johnny Manziel type beat.
Yes.
Right?
if you go royalty free Johnny Manziel type beat, John Mateer will appear in that search result, right? That's how that's going to work.
That's my thought process. Continue.
All right. So you still have Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, and I present to you Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt. Cash or pass?
Pass.
Georgia quarterback Gunnar Stockton.
Pass.
Florida quarterback DJ Lagway.
Well, here's the thing.
Availability questions?
We're not sure what's going on with him, and I haven't been deep in GatorTown.com or wherever the message board is for that to know what sources are saying about his availability at practice. That being said, if healthy, cash.
Ooh, okay. So for the purposes, we'll say cash. So now you have DJ Lagway. I present to you Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin.
I'm going to have to go with cash only because of the weapons around him.
Especially the weapon.
Yes.
The one.
Only because of the weapons around him, which I'm not sure if this is going to come up later, but only because of the weapons around him and what that possibility makes, I'll cash that.
So now you've got Ohio State quarterback Julian Sand. I present to you Penn State quarterback Drew Aller.
I don't see that offense being dynamic enough to get those numbers. They could be good, but I'll pass on that.
And they're very run heavy, too.
Yes.
They do return 2,000-yard rushers from last year. So you still have Julian Sand, Ohio State quarterback. I now present to you Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith.
Cash that.
Yeah. I feel pretty
Cash
good with that. So now you have Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. I present to you Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. The look on your face.
Pass.
After much deliberation, he decides to pass. Oh, so he still has Jeremiah Smith, who, by many accounts, the best player in college football. And thankfully, the Heisman Committee has shown they've lost their reluctance to give a wide receiver the Heisman because Devontae Smith won one in the not too distant past. Old enough to remember that.
Yep, that's true.
So you still have Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. I present to you Texas quarterback Arch Manning.
This is a good one. I might be able to figure this out after week one. I'm gonna
week one game.
Yeah, maybe week one matchup. I'm still gonna pass on that.
Fun fact about that game. I did not realize that until today. This is like I'm a today years old type beat thing here. First ever game in the history of college football between two top 3 AP teams in the month of August. Ever. We've never had a game this big, this early.
That makes the calendar. Yeah, that checks out.
Just pretty cool. Pretty cool. So you still have Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith, LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier.
Pass. And I think this is more a note on what I think LSU will be as opposed to what I'm assuming Ohio State will be.
So I assume like the Ohio State thing is interesting just because they have a couple of obviously big players returning, Jeremiah Smith being the big one. But Carnell Tate's another one of those guys, too, just doesn't get talked about enough because he's never been on a team where he was the number 1 receiver, but he's still an NFL caliber wide receiver. Is just that unseen kind of player there, but is incredibly valuable and is going to get a lot of favorable draws when it comes to coverage.
Yeah, because what do you do?
Jeremiah Smith is that good that there might be a team that's like, you know what, we'll take our chances and we'll go 9 on 10 defensively.
Yeah, it reminds me of those late Saban Alabama squads with all of those receivers that they have. It's like, oh, this third dude, who's that? Jalen Waddle, who's he? And he's just running up and down the field because we guarding everybody else. We're guarding Ruggs and everybody else, and this dude's running up everywhere.
So we'll let this first-round draft just run wide open.
That's what it reminds me of.
All right. Those are the last non-South Carolina
players. Come on, man.
There's a bonus. There's a bonus.
Come on, man.
So right now, what we've established, so the answer to the entire thing is Jeremiah Smith. We established that. We're going to leave Lenoris out of it. But we'll just put it up to thought. So Lenore Sellers' biggest competition for the Heisman, Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, thank you for framing it. I really appreciate you framing it that way.
I will not let you pick against Lenoris.
Thank you.
But I think we'll phrase it as that. When you look at it through that scope, how much better do you like Lenoris Sellers' Heisman chances?
Well, I like him as a quarterback. I do think we're always...
That's an edge.
We do have the idea we tend to give our votes for quarterbacks. Do think there's a surprise factor with Lenoris that if he has the season and he continues the hype train, I think people can get aboard that. People may have... People don't really love Ohio State, except fans.
Right.
South Carolina has the potential to be a team that the nation gets behind. And
likable team.
There's a very... Obviously, Shane's very likable. Lenoris is very likable. So statistics-wise, if he puts up the season that we all hope he has, there's a good chance that he can be in that conversation. Now,
according to BetMGM, Lenore Sellers has the 5th best Heisman odds.
5th.
Right? 5th.
Okay.
If I was making my Sept Heisman, your September Heisman, I think Lenore Sellers is your favorite.
For that.
Because you look at the schedule.
Can I change the question a little bit?
Okay.
Does Lenoris have to be that guy in order for them to get their goals accomplished in September?
Yes. Because I think for some of the question marks that we talk about this team, Offensive line, still need to see. Defensive line, how well they stop the run, still need to see. How does the linebacker group kind of acclimate? Still need to see. We don't know exactly what the running back room is going to look like because we're still hanging on and pins and needles waiting for the Rasul Faison ruling. With all of those that still need to be seen, not saying that those elements of this team can't be good. They could all be really good, and that will certainly take a lot of pressure off Lenore Sellers. But if there's going to be an acclimation period, kind of like where it was for the offense last year, where it took a while before you hit your stride, and if we've learned anything about Shane Beamer coach teams, they will play their best as a unit once you get into mid to late October, on through the rest of the season. There might be some bumps and bruises along the way, but what can keep those bumps and bruises from beating you is by having a quarterback who is a September Heisman type player, right? If you're able to make plays out of nowhere, then maybe you're going to be in a position to win games pretty well. So that's my thing with Lenore Sellers. He can be he is a September Heisman candidate. This team's 5-0 going into that game against LSU.
Okay. I haven't thought about this, so we're really talking through this. With that being said, is he the only guy that has to put up that type of performance for his team to be in those spots? Like, does the quarterback, I forget his name, from Ohio State,
Julian Sand.
Does Julian Sand have to be that for them to do that?
Nope. He just has to be good enough. His job, we both love the movie Friday Night Lights. You know, Boobie Miles, after Billingsley fumbles the football, and he goes, you don't have to worry about fumbling the football anymore. Your job is to be blocking for Boobie. Mm-hmm. Julian Sand, hey, you don't have to worry about being Superman. Your job is to get the ball to number 4 right there.
Arch Manning.
Doesn't have to be that great for them to win games. Arch Manning doesn't have to be great for them to beat Ohio State on the road.
Gunnar Stockton.
Doesn't have to be that great for them to win. It would help their chances, and surely those teams want them to maximize their potential.
Garrett Nussmeier.
I would even say no.
Okay.
Just because they do have so much on offense. Defensively, that's the kind of the catch-22 with Garrett Nussmeier. He can still throw for 4,000 yards this year, and they can still go 8-4 because if they still can't stop a nosebleed, it's not going to matter. But I think in terms of reaching your goals early, Lenore Sellers is the one who has to be what he is anticipated to be for them to be able to reach that. And that's the reason why they're picked so high in the SEC. That's the reason why they're top 15 in the country, is because I think the country is enamored with what they saw in the last 6 weeks, and rightfully so. And I think that's one of the reasons why our hopes are up so high here in South Carolina, is because we know what he was at the end of the year, and you're going to need him to be that early on while other parts of the team are figuring some things out.
That makes total sense, and I hadn't thought that through. So yeah, so we're going to do the campaign for the September Heisman.
Absolutely. And even if he doesn't win the actual Heisman, if he wins the September Heisman,
we're in business.
Oh, we're in good shape. We're in really good shape, I do believe. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's the early game morning meeting. What happened last night? Well, magic happened last night in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We'll discuss that and a whole lot more when the early game continues.
Preston here for Cato's Power Equipment. Cato's Power Equipment has been family-owned and serving the Midlands since 1983. That's over 40 years. And third-generation owner Ben Cato provides top-notch service, great deals, and the mom-and-pop values that you love. Ben is determined to raise the standard of sales, service, and retails. At Cato, they are proud to offer a wide selection of new and pre-owned mowers, tractors, and more. So if you're ready to invest in something new, their friendly team is there to make the process easy, help you choose the right equipment, find financing options, and keep your gear running strong with expert service and parts. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned landscaping pro, Cato's has you covered with a huge selection of new and pre-owned mowers, tractors, and all the gear that you'll need. So call Cato's Power Equipment at 803-254-3711. That's Cato's Power Equipment at 803-254-3711.
Still working that earlier tie up at Bluff Road at Rosewood Drive, also Highway 321 near Busby Road, Old Sadie Run Road at Pine Plain Road, and Whaley at Wayne Street. So be careful out there this morning. Partly cloudy, 90. That will be the high today. Some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, and looking for a high of only 81. 72 currently on the early game.
Reminder that tomorrow is the Games Summer Golf Classic, sponsored by Krager Showrooms, formerly The Nest in the Vista. tomorrow at Charwood Golf Club. Tee time 9 a.m. Registration at 7:30 a.m. One spot left for a team. And if you'd like to be that team, it's $400. Call 803-755-2000. Press number 2 to sign up. Of course, breakfast will be provided. Saki's Wine and Spirits is providing a mimosa bar. Firehouse Subs will provide the lunch. And we'll provide the prizes and the golf gun with proceeds going to Camp Discovery. But now it is time for the morning meeting, and I can't think of a better place to start this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Repeat after me. Today will be an awesome day. Let's go. Good morning, great today. Today will be an awesome day.
Especially in Williamsburg.
Good morning, great today.
For one group of Little Leaguers.
Today will be an awesome day.
Because last night, down 6-1 with their backs against the wall in the bottom of the 7th inning. Didn't even need to use 2 outs to get there. The Irmo Little Leaguers come back against South Dakota and win 7-6.
Congratulations to all of them.
Unbelievable.
What a fun ride, man. They're going to remember this forever, for sure. This is really cool. And as we said earlier in the 6 o'clock, the world, the South Carolina nation is gathering around them. Like I said, I saw Nick Emenwari tweeting from the Pacific Northwest. Not like he has anything that he should be paying attention to right now, but hey, his hometown is locked in battle, and he is there with them.
His hometown is playing for a national championship, right? Like the air play.
So you just picture that, like he's trying to study his playbook, and he's like, no, not right now. I got more important things to do. I need to watch the Irmo Little League team play in Williamsport.
Then I have to watch, the one young man who's 12 and 5'10". Wow, there's some big kids.
They are some big kids.
Crazy.
Good size.
Yeah.
Good size. And the one thing I like about this game, too, is they had to win it in a different way than they've won some of their other games, right? Like, when you shut out a team like you did, at the beginning of the Little League World Series, or give up 1 run, where you're just dominant pitching.
Yep.
Gave up 1 run through 2 games and lost the 1-0. Your pitching's been dominant. You were forced to put up at least a 5 spot in the last half inning to keep this dream run going. And you come out and do it. Like that part is awesome. And again, not many times do you see a comeback like that where the game-winning hit happens with just 1 out.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Usually, there's 2 because it takes some time to build up the base runners and be able to clear them and bring people home. But an unbelievable win last night, a big chance for them and the team they have to play. So I misspoke earlier. They have to win to get to the final because Fairfield, Connecticut did beat the team from Las Vegas yesterday as well, 7-3.
Connecticut's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough bunch because that Las Vegas team is the one that beat you 1-0 and did so by only getting 2 hits. That's when I know they want back. I feel good about their chances of winning that game.
Yeah.
Not many times you're going to lose a game when you only give up 2 hits.
That's a good point.
And if you're able to replicate that, you're in good shape.
It's been really fun to watch them. I mean, they're good players. I mean, you forget that at that level, there's some skill. And they're really doing well. I mean, some stretches that they've done and just some really solid double plays. And it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they're awesome in the field. They're amazing in the field.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing, too. Like, when you watch Little League, you hear the term the Little League home run. When somebody maybe hits a ball in the outfield, the throw comes back into the infield, and it's over like the second baseman or
that's not
shortstop's head.
happening.
No.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I mean,
None
there
of
have
that's
been
happening.
throws from left field, and they've gotten them out at the plate. It's impressive stuff.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
They're awesome. They are incredibly fun to watch. So if you have not watched them yet, I highly recommend doing so. Show a little statriotism, as I like to call it.
Like it.
A little bit of statriotism as they try to do something really special around here, too. Great year for the Irmo sports scene all around. Nick Emenwari getting drafted. Donovan Murph, I think, will make an impact on the South Carolina team to start the season. And the Little League team is in a really good spot in the Little League World Series, already collecting 3 wins in this bad boy so far. So they have had a very productive trip to Williamsport, and that trip gets to continue. Other thing, some bad news for one Preston Thorne.
Rise up.
As you can tell in the tone of his voice right there, that it's not good Falcons news. You know, we've already had one training camp issue with the Falcons, with Michael Penix being involved in a scrap whenever they had a joint practice with the Titans. Which
Didn't like it.
The Titans have also been scrapping with their own team. Maybe in terms of the teams that are the most fight-happy in the preseason, the Tennessee Titans definitely one of them. But the bad news for the Falcons yesterday, they had an injury. Starting right tackle, Caleb McGarry, has to be carted off the field during practice.
Yeah, that's a difficult loss. You know, if you're not paying attention, to which I have not been to this point, but I didn't realize that this was a dude.
That's good.
Started 92 of the last 93 games. He is a guy.
So I can talk about availability being your best ability.
Yeah, man. So that's going to be a difficult loss for them. We'll see who they have to step up and fill. That you don't often think about, you know, the right tackle being the biggest loss of the year, but we'll see. We'll see. It's not a great place to start. But nevertheless, rise up.
We have college football playoff developments too, because it was announced that they're adding more criteria, which I think at this point we are kind of overcomplicating things. But this is from yesterday. Ross Dellinger tweets, the CFP announces the previously reported adjustments to the selection criteria and the rankings release schedule. And it has something to do with strength of schedule. So that instead of just the strength of schedule metric, they will say they are focusing more on teams. I try to paraphrase because it's a lot of like Lego mumbo jumbo.
I'm not
going to bore you guys reading this because it is a bore to get through that thing.
Yes. Can I give me the TLDR?
TLDR? You're going to have to teach that one to me.
Too long, didn't read.
Too long, didn't read. So me doing Spark Notes in high school whenever I didn't feel like reading an entire book if I checked out on it in class. Yeah, so basically they will be looking at more of a strength of record which seems like you should have been doing this to begin with. Who you beat, who you lose to, which they apply. I feel like they still applied reasonably well for the most part. Now there were some flaws, like Indiana being one of those, right? Like they didn't have a lot of marquee wins, but their only loss was to a team that ended up winning the national championship in the regular season. And you had 3 teams outside the playoff picture with 3 losses that were the first teams out. But now they're saying they're applying it on a more, I guess, numerical order.
Would we have made the playoffs if we have had this new criteria?
I still don't think so.
All right. Well, then.
I still don't think so. I don't know.
Whatever.
At this point, judging the minds of, 12 different individuals in that room, they have a new recusal policy.
Which probably should have been.
Which is probably more appropriate.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with the recusal that has always bugged me. That person that leaves the room has to come back in. They don't go home. They just leave the room and they got to come back in.
Go and put their ear to the door.
Yeah, put their ear to the door. Like when Bubba Cunningham had to leave the room for the NCAA men's basketball tournament selection. Right. You don't think they didn't consider what he might have thought whenever he came back in the room and if they had North Carolina out of it? So that's A+ for trying, but I don't know if it's going to be A+ in terms of how it's actually applied, which I think kind of goes back to one of the points that I've kind of honed in on for a while, that maybe, just maybe, a different set of people that aren't administrators for schools that have skin in the game probably should make up the selection committee. Coming up next, I stumbled across an interesting quarterback theory that came from the mind of one of the NFL's greatest coaches in Bill Parcells. And I got curious yesterday, and I put that theory to the test. What does it say about evaluating quarterbacks at the college level? We'll get to that when the early game continues. Now, we're about to discuss a theory from Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells knew a lot about football. But if Bill Parcells was to give you roofing advice, he'd say if you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek. Now, he hasn't said that, but he probably would if you asked him that question, because for nearly 30 years, Midstate Roofing has been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. They provide proper advice, service, and results to the specific needs of your facility, and it's in a manner that's done both safe and pleasing to your operation. They design and install bonded systems with that protective guarantee, something we're all looking for when it comes to our roof, that'll keep your operation dry and running long into the future. If that sounds good to you, because it sounds good to me, give them a call, 803-356-1919, or you can always go online at midstateroofing.com. And remember, if you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Bluff Road at Rosewood Drive, still trying to get that earlier slowdown all cleaned up. Highway 321 near Busby Road. Also, you'll find a slowdown Old Sandy Run Road at Pine Plain Road. 2 more accidents to just make you aware of. Van Boeklen Street at McCord's Ferry Road, and in Columbia, Whaley at Wayne Street. Going to be pretty nice today, just a little bit cloudy. 90 for the high. Could see some scattered thunderstorms back in the forecast for a few days after that. really Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 81 for the high tomorrow, 82 on Saturday, 86 for your Sunday. It's 72 right now on the early game.
We had to make sure that the nerd music was ready because I went down a rabbit hole yesterday. Bill Parcells used to have a famous criteria for how he evaluated quarterbacks before even watching them on film. A standard of quarterbacks going into a draft process that guys need to reach before he considered drafting them to be his quarterback. And with the news of Anthony Richardson getting benched and Daniel Jones being the starter, people arguing online a lot about whether or not they're giving up on him made me wonder where certain quarterbacks fit in this criteria. So, yes, I may or may not have went through the college resumes of 33 different quarterbacks in the NFL. I would have been 34 if I could find anything on Joe Flacco, but apparently when Delaware's in the FCS, they're not this year, starting this year, they're not. Finding FCS stats a lot harder. And I was like, you know what? I'm already going through 33 different quarterbacks. I ain't got time for that. So Joe Flacco's excluded. Everybody else here, starters. Here's the criteria. Must be a 3-year starter. Be a senior in college. I graduate from college. Now, I'm not sure of the degrees of these guys, so
right.
I excluded that.
Just stop now. If you didn't even take the time to find out their degrees, what are you doing here?
Then what am I
failing
doing?
us.
Then what am I doing? I'm shortchanging us here. Mm-hmm. So I excluded the graduate from college, but other things that are, pretty accessible. Starting 30 games, winning 23 games, post a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, complete at least 60% of your passes thrown. And what I discovered out of the 33 quarterbacks where this information is accessible, sorry, Joe Flacco, 12 of them in the NFL fit all 6 of the criteria. Those quarterbacks are Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Spencer Rattler, Michael Penix Jr., Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith, and Brock Purdy. And then there were 2 with 5 of 6, 4 with 4 of 6, 4 with 3 of the 6, and a large chunk with only 2 of the 6.
Give me those.
Of the 2 of the 6?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be Tua Tagovailoa, Drake May, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray. There are 2 players, though, only 2 quarterbacks out of the 33 I looked at that had 1 or less. Josh Allen only had 1 of them. Feels like an outlier. Would you like to guess the quarterback that had 0 of the 6 criteria?
Being as though you let in with this fella, I'm going to assume, is it Anthony Richardson?
You would be correct. Anthony Richardson did not match a single criteria. And if we want to use the graduate from college, he wasn't in college very long. I don't know if he graduated, but you can maybe guess he didn't because he did leave early. You can always go back. That's the one thing. You can always go back and finish once your career is over. Or in the offseason, you want to take online classes. There's always a way. So I don't want to completely discount that. But the only quarterback on this list to be over was Anthony Richardson. But what I found was really interesting was when you look at the 12 quarterbacks that fit every single one, while not all of them are stars, and we still have yet to see with guys like Spencer Rattler, Michael Penix Jr., with the exception of Geno Smith, too, all of them were ready very early. We saw what Jaden Daniels did last year. I would say he was NFL ready. All quarterbacks in the NFC East that are starting this year on this list, all 4 of them.
That's what struck me when you was going through those 12. I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. He's solid. He's okay.
Solid.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody struck me. And then even when you look at Geno Smith, as far as his career is concerned, obviously he didn't start off well, but where did he start?
Right.
in a very dysfunctional organization.
Terrible organization,
And
terrible franchise.
His career, he's shown that he had to do some growing up, but he's also shown that he is an NFL quarterback
Yes.
that a lot of teams would take. And so that struck me as you was going through those 12. I was like, all right,
They're all pretty good.
pretty good, like the Big 12, right?
Like,
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So that was interesting to me. The other part that was interesting to me is when you get to the two that have none, Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson, you cannot plan your life on the exception.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plan it on the rule.
And was Josh Allen ready when he got to the NFL?
No.
No
way.
People forget how bad he was his rookie year. He was bad. Like,
And he
there were growing
somehow
pains.
remarkably, because he's an exceptional athlete, because there's something just different about that dude, he overcame what most people don't. He overcame accuracy issues, which quarterbacks traditionally do not do that.
Absolutely not.
And so with the Colts, it seemed like the Colts were thinking like, hey, Josh Allen did it.
We could do it too.
We can do it too. And that's not a great way to go about life.
You can't bank on that. You can't bank on the exception being the rule.
Because it's not. By definition.
And the Josh Allen story is amazing. Like, the guy just became an NFL MVP this year and fitting only one of the criteria. And I think that was just by ironically enough, I think it was completion percentage. I think he was like at 60.6% or something. Like, I mean, he barely passed it. But the story of Josh Allen, he really attributes a lot to his development from working with Jordan Palmer in the offseason, the younger brother of Carson Palmer, who now runs his own kind of quarterback development program. Did a lot of work with him in the offseason, working on arm angles. And that fit in footwork. And that apparently is what he says fixed a lot of those accuracy issues. Again, an outlier. And you look at the guys that have two, they are higher risk, higher rewards, or they're not ready right now. Like Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold just had his career year with the Minnesota Vikings. How many years in the NFL did it take for him to be able to have a year like that? It took a while. And it took him having to be no longer a New York Jet. I think that's also another common denominator here.
We've seen something in common here.
New York Jets, quarterback ruiners. And for guys that are considered, some late bloomers, that can be because you weren't ready when you fit only 2 of the 6 criteria. You don't have enough experience to be ready to play in the NFL right away. Like Aaron Rodgers only had 2 of 6. But what did Aaron Rodgers do for the first 3 years of his career?
Correct.
Sat behind Brett Favre.
Patrick Mahomes.
What did he do for the entire first year of his career? Sat behind Alex Smith. It requires just more reps and being in that environment a little more. Even the guys that are 3 of 6, Jordan Love, what did he have to do?
Sat.
J.J. McCarthy. Now, we don't know what he is yet, but what does he maybe have an advantage of? Maybe the injury forcing him
might have saved him.
It might have helped him a little bit. It really could have in a really weird way. Would we say Bryce Young was ready?
No.
Was
not.
Oh, a combination of not being ready and not playing in the right place. Matt Stafford took a little time, but eventually ended up Matt Stafford, ironically enough, only fit criterias of like games started and like the experience ones outside of being a senior. He did not meet the criteria of touchdown interception ratio. One of the few guys on this list that didn't meet that criteria, and completion percentage. He was sub 60 in his career at Georgia. But all the guys that fit all 6, while they may never win MVP, were ready, with the exception of Geno Smith, right away. Brock Purdy, one of those. He was the last pick of the draft. But he fit all 6 of that criteria, which I found to be really interesting because when he came in, he seemed to be pretty ready. Now, the whole curiosity thing here started with the Anthony Richardson situation. But are the Indianapolis Colts the new Cleveland Browns? We think they are, and we'll tell you why when the early game continues. The question, are the Indianapolis Colts the new Cleveland Browns?
Well, the problem is that the Cleveland Browns are still the Cleveland Browns.
Yes. But do they have company?
Yes.
Because what does misery love?
Company.
Absolutely.
It loves company.
But if nothing else, the Colts have a really cool mascot.
They got maybe the best mascot.
I'm telling you. So points on that, which we're going to talk about at some point, mascots, because there's a new one that's come out, and I'm mildly curious about it. So that'll be for another conversation.
I like that. But
there's a tease.
But in terms of the leader in the clubhouse for having the best mascot in the NFL, Colts are up there.
Yeah.
The Colts are up there. I don't even know what they call him, but he's hilarious.
Blue.
Blue's hilarious.
Yeah.
Big fan of Blue. Blue is not a big fan of the Colts quarterback situation dating back to 2017. Because if I told you there was an NFL team this year that would be starting their 8th different quarterback in week 1 in the last 9 years, you'd have said, Elijah Preston, that's the Cleveland Browns. It's the Indianapolis Colts. And now the funny thing is, another nerd alert here, I went back to see all of them, who their week 1 starter was dating back to 2017, and did my own personal where are they now.
Nice.
So I not only did I find the quarterback, where are they now? 2017, you would never guess who the week 1 starter was. This is before Andrew Luck retired. There was an injury.
There was an injury.
Scott Tolzien was the week 1 starter.
That one I was not prepared for.
Did we think we would have a Scott Tolzien mention on the show today? If you thought that, you maybe need to go take a trip to Vegas and make yourself some money. Use your powers for good.
They went into a season that was like, we're starting Scott Tolzien.
Scott Tolzien played 3 quarters that game. Jacoby Brissett came in after that. And then because Jacoby Brissett they traded for when Andrew Luck went down. Tolzien was originally the backup in training camp. He plays poorly because they get their doors blown off in that first game. And then Brissett comes in, fresh off of getting traded, plays the last quarter, plays the rest of the season. But where's Scott Tolzien now? He is the New Orleans Saints quarterback coach.
Okay.
He is working directly
transition
with Spencer Rattler.
Okay. So there is a connection.
There is a connection.
There's a connection.
2018, the week 1 starter was, of course, Andrew Luck. Where's Andrew Luck now?
Andrew Luck is now the Stanford GM.
Yes, he is the general manager for his alma mater.
A job description that did not exist when he played football.
No, it did not at all. And now he is the man in charge. Now, then they had to fire the head coach, Coach Taylor, during the offseason. And they've had to really just kind of glue everything together.
And Andrew Luck says, hey, as coach told, there's my buddy. I know Frank Wright. Come on in.
Come on in. and they made that connection. We'll see what Stanford is this year.
Yes.
2019, Andrew Luck retires right before the season starts.
You was recounting that story to me, and I forgot that.
Still one of the craziest nights of my life. Like in terms of looking at like the ticker, watching a football game, watching Florida Miami in week 0, and being like, wait, there's no way that says he's retiring. I still remember the shock I was in seeing that on TV. But Jacoby Brissett was the week 1 starter. Where is he now?
Only because I did research. This is the only reason I did research, and I would have been totally wrong, but he is now an Arizona Cardinal.
He is the backup quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, U-Haul Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's qualified for sure.
Yeah.
He's by my count, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NFL squads that he has played.
Woo! Yep. U-Haul Hall of Famer qualifies. 2020, Phillip Rivers. Where is he now? He is the head coach at St. Michael Catholic High School in Fairhope, Alabama.
High school.
Yeah.
He is coaching high school.
Coaching high school. Yeah, just had the jersey retirement with the Chargers, and that was a cool video. Phillip Rivers was a dog, not known for being a Colt. Does he even acknowledge that year?
You can't. He's a one and done.
Gotcha.
Now, he did take him to the playoffs, but 2021, Phillip Rivers retires. Carson Wentz, starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Where is he now?
I have no clue.
He is retired and is the quarterback coach at North Dakota State.
Oh, he went back home.
His alma mater.
Okay.
Yep. This year is his first year as the quarterback coach at North Dakota State. So that's what Carson Wentz is up to these days. 2-time Super Bowl champion without playing in the game. 2022, Matt Ryan left the house that Matt Ryan built to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts for a year. Where is he now?
CBS.
Happily retired.
Matt Ryan wears a good suit, too.
Very good suit.
Good suit.
Sharp dressed man.
Sharp dressed man.
The All ZZ Top team.
Yeah, sharp man. Tyler would argue that he is the most important Falcon ever.
Ooh.
That's one of Tyler's arguments. I'm not stealing his thunder, but that's something that
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
So
He's got reasons for it. 2023 and 2024, the only repeat name on this list is one Anthony Richardson, and I think we know where he is now.
On the bench.
On the bench. And then this year, 2025, it'll be Daniel Jones. So that makes for 8 different starting quarterbacks on week 1 in the last 9 years for the Indianapolis Colts. Verdict, the Colts are the Browns.
Oh.
The Colts and Browns are going full Spider-Man meme. That is a very new term. We have other new terms we can introduce you to and apply them to the world of sports. That's next to kickoff hour number 3.
Van Boekelen Street at McCord's Ferry Road, there's an accident there. Also, Old Sandy Run Road at Pine Plain Road. Bluff at Rosewood in the cleanup stages. Should be getting that cleared out here pretty soon. Partly cloudy and 90. That's going to be your high today. And then we drop into the 80s. Scattered thunderstorms really Friday through Sunday. Just, again, scattered storms. But looking for a high on tomorrow, 81, 82 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. 72 right now on the early game.
Hour number 3 of the early game starts right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Preston Thorne. She's Jen Jensen. And we're ready to continue getting up to date on terms. Yesterday it was maxing. Who in college football was maxing? Stanford going 13 personnel. Auburn was championship maxing.
Yes.
Fake championship maxing.
Yes.
Which, even like today, I still can't get over that type of news dump required. Does it tell you a little bit of what they think about their football team right now? I don't know. It could be completely unrelated, but if that's the biggest news coming out of your camp, maybe not the best.
Yeah, it was the other news coming out of camp besides them having 3 play callers, 3 quarterbacks.
It's an absolute cluster.
Yeah, a lot going on in Auburn. We'll check back in.
But that poses the question, Preston Thorne. Is Auburn football cooked?
I like what you did there.
Because we will differentiate being cooked versus let them cook.
It's 2 different things happening.
Completely different things.
Right.
Yes. One, if it is said, good thing. The other, bad.
Which one is which?
Now, if you are cooked, not good. Done. Washed up. Absolutely toast.
Over the hill, possibly.
Over the hill.
That's another. Yeah, these are
good.
synonyms,
Yes.
right? These are synonyms that could be going for. If you hear one of the Utes say the phrase, they're cooked, washed up, over the hill, toast, whatever you want to. That's same thing.
When you say Utes, you're not saying the Utah Utes.
Not them.
They are not cooked. I like them a lot this year.
I do like Cott Whittingham a lot.
He's maybe the best pound for pound.
If there was a coach that I would definitely let cook, it would be Kyle Whittingham.
It would be Kyle Whittingham.
Just give him a team and let him cook.
And let him work his magic. Let him work his magic with what he does. In terms of other programs or maybe players in pro sports that are cooked, the Indianapolis Colts, who we just talked about. Cooked. Already. With the quarterback uncertainty, is Daniel Jones really the answer if you are trying to win this year? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's nobody in Indianapolis saying, "Oh, Daniel Jones, let him cook." Nobody's saying that, right?
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying that. Danny Dimes, let him cook. Nah, it's not happening.
And that was a big thing, in terms of insert quarterback here. Cook was a big thing with the Seahawks, and Russell Wilson was having maybe some of his best statistical seasons.
You know what? We didn't talk about this, but that was
low volume.
That was the perfect scenario right there, where it was like, let Russ cook, where it seemed like he was trying to brand himself as a different type of quarterback than he was. We realized, like, hey, Russ, remember what you really were great at was being a play-action quarterback, hitting the deep ball.
Being a rule follower.
You were a rule follower. Not the let Russ cook campaign was bad.
It was cooked.
But then we found out that maybe Russ was cooked.
Yeah, right.
Right?
After that trade, which may be one of the worst in NFL history. I don't want to say it is. The Saints trading their entire draft capital for 2 years to draft Ricky Williams wasn't great. The Minnesota Vikings trading away the tools the Dallas Cowboys used to build a dynasty for Herschel Walker, certainly up there in terms of bad trades. The Seattle Seahawks giving up as much draft capital as they did for Russell Wilson. The Broncos giving away that draft capital, yes, to get Russell Wilson from Seattle. Qualifies because Russell Wilson seemed cooked. But the funny thing about Russell Wilson's kind of career arc here is that he has circled back to being a good rule follower. I don't think he was an all-pro caliber quarterback by any means last year in Pittsburgh, but he got back to his roots. Rule follower, play-action quarterback. And they still were able to win an adequate amount of games to get them to the playoffs.
So I'm going to ask 2 tough questions here. With this paradigm, let him cooked or he's cooked. And they're at the same place, at the same juncture in their career. Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin.
Ooh. Oh, man. I don't want to say Mike Tomlin is cooked.
You sure? Mike Tomlin, cooked or let him cook?
I would say Steelers front office is cooked. I would say Mike Tomlin.
That's not the question, Elijah.
Let him cook for Mike Tomlin.
Ooh, okay.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
I think the front office has failed them in terms of roster construction.
He'll cook you up and win the season. We know that.
Because any Mike Tomlin coach team is going to have a defense good enough to win you 9 games. Every year. Every single year. And they have had rosters that had no business winning 9 games, win 9 games. Because I think he is that good of a coach. Just an all-around, CEO of a franchise. Mike Tomlin fits that. I still have more faith in Mike Tomlin than I do a majority of coaches in the NFL.
Aaron Rodgers?
Cooked. And it's on multiple things, right? The Achilles injury still, I know that was it is now multiple years ago, but it's the Achilles injury married with the age in which he had it. The Achilles injury, yes, modern medicine is incredible, and players are able to bounce back from injuries they used to not bounce back from, right? Like the ACL tear used to be a career ender 3 decades ago, 4 decades ago. It's not anymore. The Achilles injury, even just 10 years ago, you look at a couple of basketball players, Sean Marion, Kobe Bryant, never the same after the Achilles injury. But now you've seen players have that, and they recover to have pretty solid careers. Kevin Durant has been really good. He's still one of the best scorers in the league, despite having that very same injury.
Cook, though, let him cook.
Kevin Durant, let him cook.
Okay. Let's continue.
But a coach killer and now becoming a U-Haul Hall of Famer. Yeah, so there are other underlying things there with my man KD. But with Aaron Rodgers, I think it's the stage in his career where having that injury probably does it for you a little bit. And some of the things that made him really good, like he'll never be confused with Michael Vick by any means. But one of his best abilities, one of the things that's made Aaron Rodgers one of the best quarterbacks any of us have ever seen is his ability to throw off the back foot. Like he can escape a broken pocket, throw the ball off his back foot, that ball travel 45, 50 yards down the field and be able to hit a receiver in stride.
Continuing this conversation, Mike McDaniel. Cook, let him cook.
Oh, that one's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're asking these tough questions.
In the situation he's in, he's cooked. Because it is a toxic feeling with that Miami Dolphins team right now. With Tyreek Hill, some of the things that are being said. I think that situation, he is cooked. You make him an offensive coordinator somewhere else, you let him cook, right? I still think he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. What Mike Tomlin is for defenses, I think Mike McDaniel is for offenses.
Ooh.
You can give him scraps, and he can give you good production. You give him a lot of talent, like what he had in San Francisco, even though if he wasn't the play caller, he's pretty good.
Okay.
He can make an offense pretty good. And the thing with Mike McDaniel, too, that I always keep in mind is that he had to coach a playoff game with Skylar Thompson as his quarterback. That's like fighting with 2 hands behind your back. It's like that scene in Monty Python's Holy Grail where, you know, the knight is fighting without any legs and arms. And he's giving it all he's got. But he is not equipped to fight that battle at all.
Okay.
He's cooked in the position he's in.
Cooked in the position. Here's a one that's future forward looking. Kansas City Chiefs.
Let him cook. Still. When you have 15 as your quarterback, that guy is going to be good for a while.
Travis Kelce.
Cooked. But here's the thing, the best part about that offense. Outside of Travis Kelce, they've improved the receiver position. They still have a lot of speed all over the field. Andy Reid is a let him cook until he retires type coach.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially as a play caller.
Whatever. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Travis Kelce can be cooked and the Chiefs can still win a Super Bowl. You like that? You like that?
Ready?
Oh, I'm ready for this. Based off of the grin that you have right now, I am ready for whatever's coming.
Trevor Lawrence.
Let him cook. Trevor Lawrence believer. I'm still a Trevor Lawrence believer. I think what hurt him was being drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, man, you can't get over of being drafted. It wasn't just the Jaguars. It was the Urban Meyer-led Jaguar. You cannot get over dysfunction. And dysfunction, I know we think that just because it's the NFL and it's the top of the profession, but there are dysfunctional organizations led by dysfunctional people that can ruin people's careers.
The Urban Meyer year set Trevor Lawrence back a lot. Now, I have someone that I went to school with.
Sources.
It is a source.
On authority.
Who is on good authority. Who's someone who may or may not have been in those meeting rooms, who has worked in the NFL. And I unfortunately, I hate when people do this, and I'm about to violate that. I can't say anything. But what I can tell you is everything that you perceive the Urban Meyer year in Jacksonville to be, I promise you it's worse.
Worse.
It's worse. It is absolutely worse. That set him back a lot. I do like that they got Travis Hunter to help him out. I think Brian Thomas is an incredible wide receiver, an amazing talent. I think they've slowly put together pieces to kind of maximize their potential on the offensive side of the ball. They're in a winnable division. I can see a scenario where the Jacksonville Jaguars mess around and win a division, which they never do on purpose, seemingly. I don't know if there's been a team that's backdoored their way into certain spots in the few instances where they are good than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sometimes in the years they're good despite their ownership.
Well, based on the conversation we had earlier this week, you said that I tried to hang the mid jacket on Liam Cohen. You said,
As a play caller, yeah.
So as a play caller, now as a head coach, it's yet to see.
TBD. Yeah, we're still TBD. But if things go wrong because of that organization, Liam Cohen can be cooked before we realize it. Just because again, it's a franchise thing. Franchise thing for me.
Sticking with the quarterback coaching theme, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford.
I'm afraid they're cooked. As a duo.
As a duo, yeah.
I still believe in Sean McVay, and of course, he is so young. He'll be coaching in the NFL for as long as he wants to. Mm-hmm. But the Matthew Stafford thing with his back, this is wise words told to me long time ago by ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck. And this is when I was working in Nashville, and the Titans drafted Caleb Farley in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft. A cornerback out of Virginia Tech. He minimal experience in college playing the position and is coming off a back fusion surgery. So I remember on the show that I worked on, we asked Tim Hasselbeck about that injury. And he goes, nobody in my life I've ever heard anybody say, I used to have a bad back. You have it once, you'll have it for a while. Guess who has rarely played in the NFL? Minimal snaps in the NFL. That would be Caleb Farley. Matthew Stafford, again, like the Aaron Rodgers thing, he's at the point of his career where certain injuries are going to be a little more damaging to the longevity of your career. I think Matthew Stafford's back is in the same boat as Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. I will give him the cooked tag.
Here's somebody we've been wanting to get to. We have not given them their proper due. We're going to switch lanes a little bit. Mark Stoops.
Cooked.
You've been trying to get to this point for a minute.
For a minute. Cooked because he's checked out. I think there might be a level of checked out there. That wasn't just flirtation with the Texas A&M job. That was full-on infidelity.
He had his bags packed.
Yes, full-on infidelity. And right now, if you want to talk about Kentucky as a football program, cooked. Because it's not like Mark Stoops is the 13th highest paid coach in the SEC. He is one of the highest paid coaches in the SEC. I believe he's still one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football. That sets your program back a lot. You're paying the coach a lot. You can't be able to pay your players a lot. The results have been bad. They are on like Indianapolis Colts status when it comes to having a different starting quarterback every year. Even in an era in college football, which that is more normalized, Kentucky does it maybe more than anybody else.
Sam Pittman.
Cooked. And I hate it. I love Sam Pittman. But I think he's cooked. I just don't think they have the horses on offense to run the race, despite having a really good quarterback. I don't think they have the horses to run the race. One that I have for you, Brent Venables. Because they have an interesting spot this year. This is a very interesting year for Oklahoma, and I'm trying to determine if BV is cooked.
Let them cook. Let them cook. They've shown the potential to win double-digit games. They did it once. Mm-hmm. Last year was abysmal, but we're going to say injuries, offensive coordinator. We're going to blame it on a bunch of things. Rectified the situation. Has a fun quarterback in there. Let's let them cook for one more year.
I think so too. But if we're 5 or 6 weeks into the season and they'll say they lose that Michigan game, right? If they lose the Michigan game, the he's cooked meter is shifting pretty heavily to that end of the
which we will be debuting here on the show.
Yeah.
We will be debuting. Is he cooked or not?
Yes. Oh, we will be diving a whole lot more into that once the season is off and underway. The Gamecocks have their season start in 10 days, specifically 242 hours and a smidge over 55 minutes. What's the running game looking like without Rasul Faison right now, as his status is still in limbo? Well, Mike Shula was asked that yesterday. You'll hear what he has to say coming up next here in the early game. that would help you earlier on than maybe anybody else in the room, as opposed to like a Jawarn Howell, who is a change of pace, speed back right now, who maybe hasn't displayed that with like what Augusta has displayed so far in camp. He's displayed he can break tackles based off what coaches are telling us, and he's had a home run ability because, as we heard from Shane Beamer yesterday, Shane said that in that second scrimmage, he had the biggest run, what he called a 60 or 70-yard run. And that type of stuff matters a lot. I expect to see a lot of Isaiah Augusta a couple Sundays from now in Atlanta. Coming up next, Isaiah Augusta's fast, but he's not NASCAR fast. I don't know if he can reach the speed that NASCARs go. It'd be really impressive if he could, but the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge with our friend Josh Harris is next on the early game.
Divine Street near Woodrow Street, an accident there. Also, you'll find one Emmanuel Church Road at Old Barnwell. Forest Drive at Percival, Gervais Street near Trenham Road, and I-20 eastbound there at Highway 378, otherwise known as Exit 61. So be careful out there if you would, please. Looking for a high today of 90 with a mix of clouds and sun. Then tomorrow, 81 for the high, 82 on Saturday. Scattered thunderstorms are possible really throughout the weekend. By Sunday, we should hit a high of about 86. Currently 73 on the early game.
Vroom, vroom. Time to go racing. And no better way to do it.
Vroom, vroom. I love it.
Yeah, you like that? That's me being a car.
Okay.
I got to work on the impersonation. I work on impersonations all the time, but I've yet to master the NASCAR.
Okay. Yep. We can definitely work on that a little bit. Needs probably sound a little more ferocious, a little more throaty.
Yeah, more for my diaphragm.
Yes.
I think would probably help a little bit. A little more oomph into it.
Yeah.
I might turn
Squealing
my microphone
tires.
practice here
Okay.
while we get our man Josh Harris on to recap the race that was at Richmond, because this weekend we're in Daytona. Capital D. Daytona. The Daytona. Josh, welcome to the early game. Your thoughts from the weekend that was in racing over at Richmond.
Yeah, good morning, and we're gonna have to work on that vroom vroom a little bit, get a little more
like that.
little more feel into it. But Richmond was great. Had a chance to run up there on Saturday, be there for the majority of the day and majority of the race. With a sellout crowd, there was a great vibe in the air. Excited for our friends up at Richmond to be able to get that sellout. Having one race now, Saturday night really seems to work there in that market. So the race, I think, delivered. You had a lot of tire fall off, which is, one of the things that NASCAR, Goodyear, and the team's been really working hard on related to the short track packages. So created some great strategy. Guys able to come up and move through the field when they got fresh tires. And then ultimately a guy like Austin Dillon, who showed last year at Richmond that they had speed and, technically won the race, did not get the benefits of the playoffs because of the way it ended, but came back for a little bit of redemption and certainly got that, locked themselves into the playoffs, and then made this weekend at Daytona even tighter now with only 2 spots up for grabs for points and potentially just one if we get another new winner.
Yeah, the fact Daytona can always be chaotic, but that's going to just make it even more so because you're right. Basically up for grabs 1 spot if we get a winner, 2 spots if not. And Daytona is just so unpredictable. And going back to Richmond real quick, I agree. I think it was a great race. The tire wear was really good. I think it made for good racing. When you say tire fall off, all I could think of was Bubba Wallace when his tire literally did fall off. Other than that, no major shenanigans or whatever. Chase Elliott did lose the opportunity to win the regular season because of his wreck. So William Byron, she says, had a chance to get the regular season championship. So all in all, I think it was a good weekend. And like we said, we turn our attention to Daytona. Again, lots of unpredictability. And then we set we set everything for the playoffs. And then we go to that place up there. What's it? Darlington. Yeah, that's it. Darlington. Mm-hmm. So what's going on at Darlington and why? How can you? I guess can you tell us a little bit about what all is going to be happening throughout the weekend? A couple different races in the weekend. Of course, the Cookout Southern 500. So tell us about the weekend of activities and why people should plan on going.
Yeah, it's going to be a full weekend. Really, it starts next Tuesday when we load in campers all day. Campers can come throughout the week. Infield is going to be sold out. We still got a few remaining spots on the outside in our tent and RV campgrounds, but Wednesday, we've got track laps for charity from 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday, we've got the car hauler parade from Florence to Darlington. 4 to 6, there's a showcase at Florence Darlington Tech. And then we've got the parade. We'll start. All the haulers will make their way to Darlington through the downtown square at 6 o'clock. Friday, we will have practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in the afternoon. Then we've got a weekend kickoff party in the fan zone, free to everyone. There's going to be some live music, some drivers signing autographs, so just a great way to really get the weekend started. Saturday, we've got the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Sober or Slammer 200 at high noon, followed by another little bit of live music after the race, which leads into the Terrence Caraway Memorial 5K at 5:30 on Saturday. It's a race that starts and finishes on the start-finish line. And then all that leads into Sunday in the Cookout Southern 500. So tickets are moving fast. It's going to be a great day. The race starts at 6, but the parking lot's open early. Come and tailgate, have a good time. If there's any of you college football fans that are out there trying to figure out how you watch the Gamecocks take on the Hokies at 3 and also get the race, we're going to have a free tailgate area to set up with a bar and some TV screens. Come hang out, watch the game, and then as soon as the hopefully the Gamecocks pull off that win, you can head on inside and watch the Cookout Southern 500. So it's a big week, big weekend, 75th anniversary, kind of the culmination of everything we've been doing to celebrate our history this year, a crown jewel event and the first race of the playoffs. We're packing a lot into the weekend.
Wow, no kidding. And just to before we get into talking about the weekend or talking about Daytona and making our picks, I do want to say the hauler parade, that is something to see if you've never done that, because that is going through town, but we've watched them from the track. And wouldn't you say, Preston?
One of the coolest things I've seen. Again, with no previous experience to seeing the machinery, seeing the precision of how they have to get in and get out of there is really awesome.
It's really, so that's something if you think, oh, a hauler parade, well, whatever. It really is something. Again, we've watched them come into the track and get all lined up and everything, but to the whole big procession of it all with that hauler parade, that's a lot of fun. So I thought I'd make quick mention of that.
Yeah, and then along with that, if you go down to Florence Darlington Tech from 4 to 6, you can see those haulers up close and personal. There's going to be some kids entertainment down there. It's a great way to kind of get the late afternoon started, and then the city of Darlington puts on a hauler fest around the downtown square on Thursday, right as the parade kind of rolls through the square. Stick around. They're going to have Andy and Onita, some live music, some vendors. So it's another great community event that's tied into race weekend.
I love it. All right. Well, we're looking ahead here to Daytona and making picks. As far as the point standings are concerned, I'm still in the basement at 78. And then we go to Josh, who has 8.